From the campus of Ramona High School in the beautiful city of Riverside, California, it's the Riverside TV Game of the Week as the Rams of Ramona host the Trojans of Hillcrest High School right here in our Riverside TV Game of the Week. Hi everybody, J.R. Ibarra along with Nick Rice bringing you all tonight's action with a very crucial matchup between two squads that have had a little bit of struggle to start off in league play. Both sit at 0-1 in River Valley League, and really tonight a loss sends somebody home at 0-2. Nick, this really can be a make or break type of game in this contest.
And both could have, not in their wildest dreams imagined a scenario like this, where a loss, especially for Hillcrest considering their non-conference record, basically eliminates their hopes realistically of making the playoffs. A 4-6 club very rarely makes it to the CIF postseason. Ramona has a little more of a chance, but in winning the league, their shot is tonight and tonight only. Both schools know this is a must-win football game, and with the pink out tonight, fresh off of the homecoming vibe and the inter-city rivalry, there's a lot to live up for tonight. The fans are here, all the support is here, and they know the season comes down to tonight, Hillcrest and Ramona.
Ramona comes in with an overall record of 3-3. It is a 1-5 overall record here with Hillcrest, and it's a number that does really not reflect who they are as a team. They lost a couple of close games early on in non-league play. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a bit. But it'll be the Trojans teeing things up. It'll be Diego Alba Diaz, the kicker. We'll get things rumbling here for the Trojans of Hillcrest. Back to receive is Antonio Lerma, and he's assisted by Cody Shiner. So glad to have you along with us here on Riverside TV for this all-important River Valley League matchup. And we are underway. Nice looking kick. Will go to Lerma. Takes it right to about the 26-27 yard line, and that's where the Rams will host a 1st and 10 to start off this first scrimmage from this first quarter play.
Ramona and Hillcrest have had very identical, heartbreaking seasons. The Rams have lost 4 games by 1 possession. We were here for opening night when they were stunned against JW North in one of the games of the year, 42-35, indicative to a dramatic year, and it encapsulated last week with their gut-wrenching loss to Patriot.
Operating with a 1st down and 10. Jeremiah Costa, quick handoff. Rushing out to the right is Shiner, picks up maybe a couple of yards on the carry. One thing to take note of for tonight, Jake Valenzuela, the leading receiver here for the Rams, has been hampered by some injuries from last week's game. It was actually kind of questionable if he would be into tonight's contest, but apparently he is giving it a shot here in this first few downs of scrimmage here from Ramona High School.
Yeah, in a game of this importance, you're going to have to drag that guy off of the field if he's going to not play tonight.
Pickup of 2, 2nd down and 8. Looking downfield, and just out of the reach of his intended receiver of Antonio Lerma. Matthew Ramos was in on the play defensively here for Hillcrest. In fact, you're going to see, that was Michael Perez, your defensive back there for the Trojans of Hillcrest.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Jeremiah Acosta, the quarterback, he had to wait until the last couple of weeks of the scrimmage and preseason to earn the starting job and know that he's going to lead this club, and he's responded very, very well. The young quarterback has stepped in and has made a huge impact for Ken Mashinsky in this young club.
3rd down and 8. Acosta being tossed out of the backfield, and his receiver falls to the turf, and he was open. Ball was intended for Jake Valenzuela. And Jake, as you see, getting up very gingerly, and that will be a 3 and out here for the Rams of Ramona.
The Rams en route to their gut-wrenching 3-3 season, a year in which they've lost 3 one-possession games. They typically get off to these slow, inauspicious starts. A 3 and out is the last thing they wanted early in this one.
Brandon Ruiz will do the punting duties here for the Rams of Ramona. Back to receive will be Matthew Ramos. Ramos will do a whole lot of playing tonight. Pretty decent kick, backs up Ramos right to about his own 33-yard line. Jukes one player, has some green to his right. Gets past midfield, still on his feet. Jukes a couple of more players and is finally wrestled down right at about the 43-yard line, and that's where the Trojans of Hillcrest will operate with a first down and 10 for their first offensive scrimmage for the night.
Now, flag was down. You just wonder where they're going to spot this. But do you remember the great Dante Hall? They called him the human joystick with the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, that was reminiscent of a great Dante Hall on that play right there.
Looks like the flag is waved off, so there'll be no harm, no foul, so that'll be good news for either one of the squads. Over the past couple of weeks, we've seen a lot of flags fly.
You know,
probably more than usual.
It feels like maybe, just maybe, I don't think we have anything to do with it, but it seems a little coincidental that we always seem to be around it.
First down and 10 at the 41 of the Rams of Ramona. It's the Trojans with their starting quarterback, Christian Alvarado, 751 yards total in passing. First give of the night is going to go to Vences, and he scoots his way forward for a pickup of probably 6, maybe 7 on the carry. Alfredo Vences, 683 yards on the season, about 6 yards per carry, so he reaches his average right off of the bat. So it'll be a second and short situation here for the Trojans.
Yeah, make no mistake, Hillcrest is a run-first football team. Ramona, I'm sure the game plan going into the week was to slow that guy down.
Absolutely. Vences, a very crucial part of this offense. Again, to Vences, out to his right. Should be enough for a first down. Pick up about 5 on the carry.
So yeah, Hillcrest, they've run for at least 160 yards in 5 straight games. They're one of the best running offenses in the league, and Vences is a big reason why. And he has the sort of athleticism and size where you can get him involved anywhere, and it seems right now, you know, they're going to try and test what he can do on the outside too. He's lined up in the slot towards the top of your screen. Just a great all-around football player.
Travis Carter, the head coach for the Trojans, is your offensive coordinator as well. He's sending in his signals right now as the Trojans with a first and 10 inside of the 30. Keeper on the play. It's actually Matthew Ramos. We saw this a couple of times last week where Ramos was back in the quarterback position, taking the direct snap. It was effective in a few plays when they faced off against North Vista last Friday night.
Yeah, and, you know, we asked Travis Carter, the coach, about if he takes anything from Ken Mashinsky, because he has a pretty intricate and deep, play sheet. And from time to time he does, but this is his own stuff mostly.
Again, Ramos on the keeper. Looks like he'll pick up close to 3 yards on the carry. So this is kind of what I was a little bit of expecting. We talked about this before the game here, in that I think Travis Carter is going to have to go and reach into his bag of tricks early on in this football game in order to try to fool that defensive squad here for the Rams of Ramona.
He has a deep bag of tricks. That Wildcat formation that set the NFL by storm years ago, that's nothing compared to this.
Again, it is Ramos on the carry. Maybe gets a yard or two, but it's going to be shy of the first down marker. So it'll be a 4th and short. I would imagine since they are within the 20-yard line, they're in that red zone. Why not go for it? 0-0 right now. Let's make things happen early on in this contest. Once again, it's Ramos lining up as your quarterback. Frankie Aguirre also in the backfield here for the Trojans. Long count by Ramos. And I think they're just trying to draw the Rams offside, and it'll be... They did it. They absolutely did it. Oh, my goodness. I didn't see specifically who jumped, but it was enough to draw the flag, and that gets a first down here for the Trojans of Hillcrest. Wow. So once again, it is Ramos continuing on as quarterback here for the Trojans. Aguirre on the carry. Moves out, right to about the line of scrimmage. I don't think he's got anything on that pickup.
Yeah, you got to love it. You know, in high school football, especially with these Riverside schools, it seems very few of them have a long-distance kicking game they love. So 4th and 2, even in field goal range typically, a lot of these offenses are going to go for it, and you can see it. The hands on the hips of a lot of Rams, they know they got to defend them for 4 downs, not 3.
Loss of 1, so it's 2nd and 11, and just like that, a toss down the middle goes to number 45. That is Aiden Parks, your tight end, to go in for the score. Nice move. We have not seen a whole lot of Parks in this season. And he comes up with the rock. No flags on the play, so it'll count. And Diaz will come in for the point after.
Well, that was certainly deep in the bag of tricks. And you know, with the season on the line, Travis Carter was going to pull out something.
Diaz up, looks good, and it is. So just like that, with 6:56 here in the first quarter of play, it's the Hillcrest Trojans leading by a score of 7-0. Really a pretty decent drive. Obviously, they were helped by having some pretty good field position here, Nick, and they took full advantage of that in order to get in for their first score tonight.
That sure was some play call from Travis Carter, but the 4th down play was huge, and for Hillcrest, you had to believe over the course of a season that the running game would start to pay off for you. They're 1-5 this year with 3 one-possession losses. They began the year with a gut-wrenching loss to Pauley, another Riverside school with plenty of fans for that one. And tonight, same story. Hillcrest rams it down the throat, and it seems like unlike most games where they struggle to punch it in the red area, they did this time.
Absolutely fine job here offensively so far for the Trojans of Hillcrest. Forgot to give it a mention, but tonight our referee is Steve Pollard, with the umpire being Michael Garcia. The head linesman is Pete Salcido. The line judge is Jamaica Mayes, and the back judge is Leonte Scott. So I know a lot of the referee crews here in CIF are getting a lot of work.
You can say that again.
We're seeing a lot of Thursday night games here that we don't typically see. And a lot of these refereeing squads are out 2-3 nights out of the week. So we appreciate all the efforts they put in for weekly football. Shiner will take the ball right inside of his own 5, looking for some daylight. Gets pushed out and knocked, wrapped up out of bounds, and nice tackle on the play by Aiden Gonzalez. So pretty decent field position here for the Rams of Ramona, as they will come up for the 2nd time on the night to try to make things happen offensively.
That was some drive by Hillcrest, but Ramona, on the heels of a 3-and-out, they were on a couple of occasions very close to some quarterback, Jeremiah Costa. I mean, just a bounce here, a bounce there. A couple of big plays were to be had for Ramona. This field position on a penalty will help, but I'm sure they went back to the drawing board and feel they have openings in that defense. This is the drive to take advantage.
So this gives the Rams an opportunity. It was a holding call that goes against the Trojans of Hillcrest. So now the ball will be positioned right at about the 46-yard line, 47-yard line of the Trojans of Hillcrest. Little bobble on the snap. Sincere Tolbert on the carry. Has some daylight and green to the 25-20. Gets knocked out inside of the 15, and that will be a move the chains moment here for the Rams of Ramona. A big pickup for Sincere Tolbert.
Yeah, they'll give him 32 on the run. I mean, Ramona shows Hillcrest they have a pretty good running back too in Sincere Tolbert. Bo Bruins was the headliner last year as their do-it-all tailback from the last 2 seasons, really. Tolbert with big shoes to fill. It's been a slow start to the year, but he is capable of a breakout run like that.
Kudos to the offensive line for opening up the holes once again. It is Tolbert on the carry. This time he gets tripped up for a carry of maybe 2 yards on the pickup. So inside of the 15-yard line in the red zone for the first time tonight for the Rams of Ramona. So let's see if they can take advantage of this and match wits and put some points on the scoreboard. Clock is running inside of 5:50 to play here in the first. Back to pass, looking for somebody in the end zone. Has a man open and overthrows his intended receiver of Antonio Lerma. Back on the defense was Matthew Ramos. Tolbert Sincere Tolbert, your running back for the Rams of Ramona, coming into tonight's contest with 620 yards, 8 touchdowns, and averages about 5.8 per carry. Obviously, his average will probably get a nice little boost after that long run here to put them in the red zone.
Well, as mentioned, both of these schools know this is a real must-win tonight. That run from Tolbert really gives a boost to this offense.
On a 3rd and 7, rollout, looking for somebody, and getting squeezed and brought down for a pickup of maybe 1 on the carry. Making one of the initial hits on the play was Zaya Guerrero. Looks like it'll bring in the kicking crew. And unfortunately, no daylight there for Jeremiah Acosta. So it brings in a kicking situation. Your place kicker is Jose Martinez, 6'1", 255 pounds.
Right.
He's probably one of the biggest kickers in the Inland Empire. Snap is down. Whistles on the play.
Oh, he hit it.
I think there was a timeout. Yeah, timeout called. Ken Mashinsky was rushing out into the field to stop play just before the snap. Not sure why he did that.
I got to say, that was some field goal can make for the Rams, and you wonder, maybe Ken Mashinsky is considering going for it here.
Maybe.
And I know that's right up your alley, JR.
Absolutely. It's a game where you got to take chances. And if not, then just go home.
You heard it here first. JR says, go for it or go home.
Go for it or go home. No, both of these coaches are great. They both have great strategy offensively and defensively, so you can expect top quality coaching out of both of these guys. We'll talk a little bit more about their own unique little relationship down the road here. So once again, it'll be Jose Martinez lined up right at about the 18-yard line. So it'll be a 28-yard field goal attempt. Snap is good, looks up and on the way.
Just missed
and he just missed it. Wow, so they come up empty, which is not a good thing to start things off, but it looks like it'll be a turnover on downs, if you will, or a failed field goal attempt here by the Rams that will give the rock to the Trojans.
May as well have been a missed PAT. It was close, and I mean, in an important game like this, I mean, those little things make a huge difference. When you make a field goal after a long drive only to have a timeout called, I mean, that is so deflating for a football team. You hope that they can recover.
Looks like Christian Alvarado is back in his place as quarterback. Alvarado, having tossed for 751 yards on the season with 7 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. And the rest will move things over to the left side hash. Clock's at 4:51, 7-0 is your score in favor of the Trojans of Hillcrest. Alvarado and Vences in the backfield. Vences gets wrapped up almost immediately and gets taken down. What a nice defensive play done by Gabriel Serrato, the linebacker.
Yeah, Serrato is, subbing in last year. Desmond Watkins was their do-it-all middle linebacker. Pass coverage, played well, but also a real good run stuffer. This year, Serrato is that new guy, that quarterback on defense, and man, he made some play. First big play of the night for that Rams linebacking unit.
Serrato's a stout guy, 5'8", 200 pounds. He is a senior here for the Rams of Ramona. That'll set back the Trojans by 2 yards. So it's a 2nd and 12 scenario here for Hillcrest. Play action, out to his right, just through the hands of his intended receiver. Looks like Jacob McDowell just did not have a proper handle on it, squeezed right through his fingers. Brings up a 3rd and long scenario now here for the Trojans.
Yeah, it hit him in a horrible spot, that Alvarado pass. And now on 3rd and 12, the playbook is pretty thin for Hillcrest. We'll see what they dial up here.
Yeah, this now can be a pretty open situation for the Rams of Ramona to take advantage of this scenario. Clock is at 4:04 here in the first quarter. On a 3rd and 12 situation for the Hillcrest Trojans. Back to pass. Looking out to his right. Had for a moment his intended receiver, Jacob McDowell, and unfortunately could not handle the rock. That'll bring down a 4th down situation here for the Trojans.
Well, Christian Alvarado's got to feel pretty frustrated on that drive. He took 2 big shots, one on the 2nd down screen pass, and then that beauty on a 3rd and 12. He takes the shot, throws it right in the receiver's hands, and the guy does not bail him out with the catch. So the quarterback, I'm sure, is thinking, I'm doing everything I can. I can't catch the ball, too. These guys got to concentrate a little bit better if they want to keep drives together.
Matthew Ramos is back to do the punting duties, and back to receive is Troy Long. Ooh, kind of a line drive kick. Bounces in favor of Hillcrest. Long very wisely lets it bounce where it will be touched right at about the 48-yard line here of the Rams of Ramona. That's where they will operate with a 1st down and 10. With the clock stopped at 3:48 here in the first quarter.
I mean, a 3 and out and then 1 first down followed by a missed field goal. Ramona's first 2 drives have been anything but spectacular, but they showed things on that Sincere Tolbert run. There are openings in the defense, and if anybody in this league can figure it out, it is Ken Mashinsky. We'll see if they change up the game plan on this drive.
All right, 1st and 10 right at their own 48. Single set back is Sincere Tolbert. And on the keeper. And takedown on the play by James Maldonado. So Jeremiah Costa on the keeper, picks up about 5 on the carry. Makes it a 2nd and 5 scenario here for the Rams.
It should be noted, Ramona in the last 2 games against Hillcrest humiliated Hillcrest both times, winning those by a combined score of 98-51. But in those games, they had Bo Bruins. The challenge is to win without him in the lineup this year.
Been quite a change as a lot of starters from last year's squad went and graduated. I believe it's, 28 players, if I'm not mistaken, that
28.
moved on. That's
18 starters.
18 starters, 28 total. Sincere Tolbert on the carry, makes a spin move, muscles his way for a looking seemingly 1st down situation here for the Rams of Ramona. Credit the tackle to Khalil Woodward, your defensive tackle.
Just their 2nd first down of the game, both by this guy, Sincere Tolbert. A solid receiving back, but his excellence is on the ground. Going into the year, there was a 2-headed monster they were anticipating with him and Peter Mesa. Tolbert shined so much in that game against JW North. They felt he should receive a bulk of the carries, and he has certainly delivered for his coaching staff.
Done a fine job as back to pass. Almost picked off, actually not too close there to Matthew Ramos. The intended receiver was Valenzuela. So Jake Valenzuela, we did mention, was kind of nursing some injuries. We were a little unsure if he was going to actually play in this game. But so far, he's been in most every series that we've seen so far here with the Rams of Ramona.
Yeah, certainly a solid start for him, but the quarterback just looks a little bit flustered right now. He has missed his first 3 passes. Acosta, one of them was, catchable football, but really doesn't quite look like himself early in this one.
2nd and 10. Back to pass as Acosta down the middle. Catch is made. Pickup on the play by Brandon Ruiz, your wide receiver. And looks like it'll be a pickup of about 7 on the catch.
Well, it took 10 minutes. First completion of the night for the quarterback. And I'd say when you're feeling a little flustered, those are perfect play calls. Get a guy open on a screen pass and give him a chance to work.
3rd and short scenario. We're going to call it a 3rd and 2 situation now. Ball planted right at about the 32-yard line of the Hillcrest Trojans. Tolbert on the carry. Looks like he'll get forward progress for the 1st down. Won't get the official call. Well, according to the PA announcer, I think he calls it a 1st down.
I think he's starting to feel that one.
He's getting a little excited.
Yeah.
Went to Starbucks and got a grande. 1st down and 10 scenario here for the Rams of Ramona with the clock rolling inside, nearly a minute and a half to play.
Well, he got a grande, but it's shaped in like a venti, I think. That's what the smaller ones are called. Tolbert, not the biggest runner in the world, but he sure is good.
Catch is made, close to another 1st down by Brandon Ruiz.
Looks like they'll call him short, but those quick passes seem to be the game plan right now.
Been effective, yeah, absolutely effective on these last couple of pass plays. Going to call it a 2nd and 3 scenario here for the Rams of Ramona.
Now, Jake Valenzuela missed the tail end of last year with injuries and missed Ramona's playoff run. And then this year, he's been dealing with that sort of thing too. But Brandon Ruiz, number 4, has really stepped up for them.
Acosta on the keeper. Looks like he pushes it forward enough for the first down. So that'll be inside of the 15-yard line here for the Rams of Ramona. So once again, the Rams of Ramona here threatening the score. Clock is ticking inside, almost 30 seconds to play. They should be able to get a playoff before this quarter ends.
Looks like they're anxious enough to do it.
Oh, a little bit of jump, possibly. Tolbert on the carry, rolls out to his right. As the daylight gets cut down inside of the 5-yard line. Looks like it should be enough for another first down.
All but one first down for Ramona in that first quarter was fittingly by Sincere Tolbert. This is some football player, and I'd say in an important game like this, I think a good idea is just to keep feeding that guy.
Absolutely. It looks like they may not get a chance to take off this next play as you hear the gun go off. Was that a gun?
It may as well have been.
Somebody went to Turner's and got a gun. That ends the first quarter of play. Pretty good matchup so far from what we've seen here, Nick. 7-0 as we head to the second quarter. I think both teams are showing why they are a really good even matchup here in this contest.
Yeah, this was, considering the stakes, to go along with the talent level of both schools. We thought it would be an evenly matched game, and it is. Rams driving into tie. A reminder, though, this is one of 2 active games on Riverside TV, the other being our broadcast with Jeff and Gazal and the rest of our excellent crew over across the way, Santiago and King. It's been a rough year for the Santiago Sharks.
Oh, boy, you see the numbers, and they've been, ooh, baby.
They've
been a little painful to take a look at.
They've been outscored by about 200 points, not ideal. The Sharks are averaging 1/8 of a yard per carry, but you wouldn't know it based on their success. They were a winning program. 2018, they won 7 games and won a playoff game that year. But it's been rough. I mean, they have lost every game this season. A lot of them haven't been close. It's amazing when you turn over, like in high school football, you can quickly go from all the way at the top to all the way at the bottom. Sharks are at King tonight.
King has been pretty tough so far here in this season. They've done a fantastic job so far
3-3
in non-league play. In fact, it was Ramona as we see the...
Yeah, they beat Ramona to begin the...
Tolbert on the carry.
Game 3, they beat Ramona 34-14.
Yeah, King is quite a stout opponent here in this 23 season. So it's a 2nd and goal scenario here for the Rams of Ramona. Acosta and Sincere in the backfield. Acosta loses the football, and it looks like the Trojans come up with a rock. Oh, man. 2nd time in the red zone, and they return with 0. It just looks like Acosta was trying to make something happen before he had a good handle on the rock. The snap, maybe not the all-time best, but nonetheless comes up with a huge turnaround situation here for the Hillcrest Trojans.
Yeah, now when you add in the missed field goal that was originally made before the timeout, this is a game right out of nightmares for Mashinsky and the Rams. They very easily could have the lead tonight, but they have left 10 points on the board and maybe even 14. It's been a rough start to this one for the Rams.
Alvarado from the gun. The give is to Vences, gets turned around. Keeps the feet moving, turns his way for a pickup of a close to 5. We'll make it a 2nd and 5 scenario here for the Rams of Ramona. Actually a closer pickup of 6 on the carry.
Yeah, this is a showdown of 2 very slippery, talented running backs, Alfredo Vences and Sincere Tolbert. The winner of that running back battle tonight could go a long way towards being the winner of the game.
Yeah, Vences has had 3 games in the 100-plus yard statistics. Back to pass, looking to his right. Catch in and out of the hands of his intended receiver of Nicholas Shaw. And on the defense, it was Royce Mendoza, your defensive back.
Some matchup tonight, and you know the implications are huge. I mean, I have an entire foot-long Quiznos sandwich riding on the result of this game tonight.
Man.
I bet Jeff Gorham, hey, the Ramona Rams, your alma mater, I believe that they could win the whole league, and I know Notre Vista is incredible, but
Absolutely.
that is just how much faith I have in Ken Mashinsky and this coaching staff. And, you know, the loss last week and the struggles tonight tells me very little about the coaching staff. This is one of the youngest teams in California Ramona has.
3rd and 4 scenario. It's the keeper here by Ramos. Rambles his way for a first down, takes it right past the 36, 37-yard line, and that has been so effective here for the Trojans.
That was some run by Ramos
You
for
know,
the first down.
this kid has really been a key factor offensively here for the Trojans, and you just saw it on that play with that first down pickup.
Yeah.
So it's a 1st and 10 scenario. Ball will be spotted right at the 35-yard line of the Trojans. Once again, it's Ramos. Vences on the carry. He gets tripped up after a pickup of close to 7, maybe 8 on the play. So this running game so far is working pretty effective here for the Trojans, Nick.
Yeah, really some start for them running the ball. Hillcrest hasn't had a 200-yard passing game this year, so even when they're behind, they love to run the football. And granted, the lead now, and this crowd is a little deflated, perfect position for them to pound not only Vences, but like you said, throw the trickery and add Ramos in the running game.
And Vences, once again, is your ball carrier. This time gets cut down right at about the line of scrimmage. They might give him a yard in forward progress. Credit the stop to Peter Mesa, your linebacker.
And the numbers are not spectacular. 25 yards on 6 carries. That's 4 yards a run. But you keep feeding Vences. He's capable of breaking away in a moment's notice. And we just saw Matthew Ramos rip off a big run a moment ago.
Ramos continues to be your quarterback. They are looking over to the sidelines. That's one thing about Travis Carter. He has a bunch of nice, unique hand signals that he gives his troops. Really helps take up a lot of time off the clock, too. Ramos on the keeper. Looks like it'll be enough for a first down. Credit the stop on the play to Angel Barrios, your linebacker here for the Rams of Ramona. So the Trojans of Hillcrest continue to effectively move the ball on the ground, pick up another first down, about 2 yards shy of midfield.
I mean, this really is, for folks in the NFL that remember the Wildcat formation, this really reminds me a lot of that. It's a fancy read option situation where the quarterback not only can hand, but really doesn't even need to hand, can immediately keep it. You got to have an athlete like that if you want to run a formation like this.
Christian Alvarado is back in the quarterback spot here for the Trojans of Hillcrest. Vences will send a man in motion. Almost had a collision. They did have a collision in the backfield. Boy, a little bit of a miscue as Jacob McDowell really kind of interfered with his own players on that play, and it'll be a loss of close to 2.
Yeah, that's a moment where you run that play in practice all week, and then you get to the game, and the lights are on, and the fans are here, and you know the Riverside TV is in effect, and just the play isn't run quite like it is in practice. That's nerves for you tonight, and this being a huge game. 2nd
and 12 is now the scenario. Dump off pass in the flat. Vences catches the football. Going to pick up maybe 7 yards total, 8 yards total. Will make it a 3rd and about a 5 to go here for the Trojans of Hillcrest. So nice little pickup by Vences on the dump off by Alvarado.
Yeah, Ramona, like, many young football teams, can get very aggressive, can make mistakes. We've only seen one penalty out of them tonight, but that blitz, a well-timed screen pass, beat it in a big way.
3rd and 5 scenario here for the Trojans of Hillcrest. Alvarado on the keeper, gets wrapped up. I don't even think he made it to the line of scrimmage. Looks like you got to credit Angel Torres, one of your linebackers here for the Rams, making the initial hit. Brings up a 4th down and 5 scenario. You know, being this deep, do you think about maybe keeping the football here or trying it on a 4th down situation?
Yeah, I like how you asked me, because we all know what your answer is,
Absolutely.
JR. I'd say go for it. You're not losing much in field position if you don't convert.
Alvarado could potentially do a little pooch kick. Let's see what happens here. So it's a 4th down and 5 situation. Looks like he may be trying to draw off the defense here.
Well, you know what? I might have gotten a little too emotional here. Second thought, I don't know if going forward on 4th down is a great idea in this stage.
Alvarado back to pass. Tosses it out to his right. Almost picked off. There was a lot of green there for Troy Long, as a pass was intended for Jacob McDowell. So the Trojans will turn over things on downs here. So that was a really tough call to make, but
sure
nonetheless, Travis Carter decided to go for it. Unfortunately, comes up a bit short, so it's pretty decent field position here for the Rams of Ramona.
You know, the big story in every level of football in the last 5-10 years is analytics, and not necessarily missing a 4th down hurts you. I don't know what the percentage is in that situation, but to a certain degree, I'm sure players love to play for a coach that doesn't mind going for it on 4th down.
Bracamonte, he makes the catch here and close to a 1st down for the Rams. On the stop is Robert Bustamante. So it is a 1st down pickup right off the bat. We'll take a second look at this as the dump off by Acosta comes up with a 1st down situation here for the Rams, as they are now into the Trojans' territory.
Yeah, that's a beautiful passer. That's, their guy, Jeremiah Acosta.
Shiner goes in motion. Acosta going to roll out to his right, looking for some daylight. Under pressure, has some green to his left. Under pursuit, rolls out of bounds, might be just shy of the 1st down. He might have missed it by about a yard. Let's see where they give him the spot. Nice way to make some lemonade out of the lemons here. Actually, we do have a marker on the field, so this is going to get nullified. So a nice looking play does not come up with any. You'll see Acosta, nice block. Acosta rolling out and in pursuit, James Maldonado, but nullified by a penalty here by the Rams.
That's a tough break, but this quarterback here is some athlete, and he reminds me a lot of Kyler Murray. He has such a short stature, very quick legs, and very quick small feet, and he's so creative in that pocket where you have to, some scrambling quarterbacks, you got to defend the hashes. With this guy, you got to defend everything outside the numbers too. He'll use the entire field to make a play.
So this pushes the ball way back to the 41-yard line of the Rams of Ramona. So it's a 1st and a mile here situation for Ramona. Back to pass is Acosta. Looking, gets chased out of the pocket, and is going to get wrestled down just about a yard pickup. Credit the stop to Bustamante along with an assistance, and I don't have a number 20.
No,
I don't have a number 20.
Of course.
Well, typical situation for high school football.
Well, that might have been 30.
Was it 30?
Might have been 30.
Okay. That would be Aiden Gonzalez, which makes a lot of sense because of the inside linebacking duties he has. Although I do see a 20 down there. Is that a 20? I don't know. The numbers.
We don't want to get any of you guys wrong, because you know what? That's the last thing we want here at Riverside TV.
2nd and long scenario here for the Rams. Tolbert, lone running back. Keeper once again. And really going nowhere after a pickup. Maybe a forward progress of about a yard on the carry. This time you got to credit Khalil Woodard making the stop here for the Trojans.
Well, for those of you wondering, and we'll have more at the end of this drive, tonight's pink out. So you're seeing all the pink sleeves and the pink shirts. Pink out tonight. It's more than a game. We're spreading awareness about breast cancer through the partnership of Ramona and Hillcrest High School. We'll tell you all about it after this drive, but tonight's also a cool night for that.
It's an important annual event here that the Rams of Ramona has been doing for the last 5+ years. 3rd and long situation here for the Rams.
Very long.
Yeah, just a touch. Acosta, once again, chased out of the pocket, has a bit of daylight, jukes another player, and will get brought down after a pick of maybe 2 on the carry.
I'd say that drive, that holding penalty hurt him because they turned a 10-yard gain into a loss of 15. That swing was huge.
So, go ahead.
This is 3 drives in a row now where the Rams are shooting themselves in the foot. First drive, they had the long pass from Acosta short, so the receiver was open. Second drive, you make a field goal after a 3rd down miscue, only to have a timeout called, and you miss the following attempt. And then the 3rd drive, the lost fumble from Jeremiah Acosta. 3 drives in a row. You expect this in game 1, but now we're in game 7 of the season. These are huge, huge back-breaking mistakes.
Brandon Ruiz will do the punting duties here for the Rams. Back to receive is Matthew Ramos, standing right at his own 21-20-yard line. Clock is going to go inside of 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. Wobbly snap, kick is up. Going to try to angle it to the sidelines, and it still remains inbounds and down right at about the 25. So pretty decent field position here for the Rams of Hillcrest with 1:47 remaining in the first half. They have some time to make some things happen offensively. They've been very effectively running that football so far here in this first half.
Yeah, they're coming off of a 9-play, 43-yard drive, but Hillcrest did go for it on 4th down. And I brought it up earlier. You might have missed it and hurt field position. Ramona could have hurt them, but they didn't. But sometimes going for it on 4th down just gives those players a vote of confidence.
Absolutely. You got to boost these confidence in these kids, especially when you're sitting at 1-5. You're in second
That's
week
the other
of,
thing,
you're in second week of league play. You got to keep the spirits up. And Travis Carter was telling you and I before the game that his kids have really been very resilient with that.
Right.
1st and 10 scenario. Looking out long to the right. In and out of the hands.
Woo. Long pass.
Man, in and out of the hands of Jacob McDowell.
Both coaching staff, it was interesting. They felt this was their best week of practice all year. And that really is a testament to the coaching of both schools and also the attitude of these players. They chose this week, the most important week of the year, to put together a good week of practice.
On a 2nd and 10, give is going to go to Vences. He's going to get wrestled down. Ball is on the turf, and the Rams are saying they've got it. Nope, looks like the Trojans will maintain possession.
Boy, that sure is a fortunate bounce.
Wow.
I saw the Rams all over that one.
So that'll be a gain of 1. And a 3rd and 9 situation here for the Trojans. So almost costly mistake here by Hillcrest.
Sure was.
Now in a 3rd and long situation. Alvarado looking over to the sidelines.
I'd say they could use some time here, and that may bode well for them.
Sending a man in motion. Dump out, and Ramos was the intended receiver, making a slant inside. Could not handle the ball, and that'll be a 4th down and a punting scenario here for the Trojans of Hillcrest.
Boy, Christian Alvarado has yet to be sacked tonight. Technically, one of his runs for loss, not a sack. But, man, he's getting pressured on just about every play. And I don't know if maybe it's miscommunication by the offensive line, but to get hit like that on a screen pass is pretty alarming for this coaching staff, I'm sure.
Ramos will be back to punt once again. No serious rush. Kind of an end-over-end kick will be taken right at the 40 and getting wrestled after a run back of about 5 yards. Troy Long finally gets wrestled down on the play. Credit the likes of James Maldonado making the stop.
So this is Ramona's 5th drive of the game. They've gone punt, missed field goal, fumble, and punt. So much for this high-powered offense.
Wow.
The Rams came into the game averaging 29 points per game.
Wow.
This is not the football team we saw a couple of weeks ago against North, and really, we haven't seen them play like this all year on offense.
Got to credit the defense here for the Trojans for making things difficult for the Rams. Back to pass once again with a man open. Will it be good? Yes, they're saying he got it. On the catch is Lerma. Comes up with a huge first down scenario here with the clock stopped with 56 seconds remaining in the first half. So now deep into the territory of the Trojans of Hillcrest. Rams are going to try to take advantage of this one.
Check out that throw again.
Acosta.
Woo! Couldn't have asked for a better ball placement on that play.
Right there. Got the feet in. The closest defender on the play was Randy Elhamra. Now in a first down and 10 situation. Acosta looking out to his left. Catch is made and brought down after a pickup of maybe 6. Brandon Ruiz makes the reception here for the Rams.
Now this, as a timeout's called by Mashinsky, this is the offense that we saw for the Rams this year.
So it'll be a pickup of 5 with the timeout being taken here by the Rams. As we talked about, it is a pink out night in celebration of breast cancer awareness. Tell us a little bit more about that, Nick.
Sure will. As we head into the timeout, great pass from Acosta. Ramona Football Boosters president Roy Mendoza is helping organize this event. Breast cancer warriors and survivors Erica Garcia, Deneen Guzman, and Jean Guerrero certainly involved with this excellent event. They're trying to raise not only individually, both schools, but they're even having a competition. Who's going to raise more in between timeouts and quarters. Super cool. And it's, breast cancer awareness, an incredible event, and just about everybody in the community has gotten involved tonight. Really a cool opportunity. And, you'll usually see like maybe somebody wear a shirt or something like that for the whole school.
Almost
to do
the
this
whole
thing.
School is
that's
involved here.
Above and beyond.
Somebody is wearing pink somewhere on their clothing tonight. Acosta looking to the end zone, and it's picked off. Matthew Ramos comes up with a huge play. We have a flag down. Ramos has some green, turns the corner, still on his feet, finally pushed out of bounds inside of the 40. But there's a flag sitting right at about the 25-yard line. This is likely to go against the Trojans. Could be a block in the back situation, but there was no receiver anywhere near Acosta's pass. It was kind of an ill-advised toss.
You could say that again. And off of a timeout, too. Such a perplexing decision there by Jeremiah Acosta. I'm sure the coaching staff were screaming at Acosta. The last thing that you wanted there is to throw a jump ball like that. The offense was rolling. They still had timeouts. I mean, that's one of those with the season on the line that you just throw up your hands in disgust. Still a one-score game, though. So with all the mistakes, and there's a lot of them, Rams are only down 7 as long as they can hold off this Hillcrest offense.
So the run back by Ramos gets nullified by a block in the back penalty here perpetrated by the Trojans of Hillcrest. So they'll have a first down and 10 situation right at their own 15 with the clock stopped at 25 seconds remaining here in the first half. Alvarado on the give to Vences. Gets spun around, maybe a pickup of 2 on the carry. Credit the stop and initial hit to Luis Mena. Mena with 39 tackles so far here in the 23 season. Clock continues to roll. I don't think they're going to get another playoff before this comes to a close here, Nick.
Sure won't. And Ramona goes 5 drives. They have 2 punts, a missed field goal, and 2 turnovers. A fumble and an interception. And we're at a 7-0 ball game. The lone play, the scoring play, was a 15-yard pass from Christian Alvarado to Aiden Parks. I mean, these are 2 of the better offenses in the league. I am completely floored. This late in the year, we're seeing these type of mistakes, a couple of crucial penalties, and, of course, the turnovers. from Ramona. Hillcrest hasn't played a great game either, but man, the Rams have really left a lot of points on the board.
Very significant mistakes have been the difference here, but as you mentioned, Nick, it's only a 7-point lead here by the Trojans of Hillcrest, as we'll send them into the locker rooms. We're going to make one more mention here of the Pink Out, as again, Breast Cancer Awareness Month being commemorated here amongst the group at Ramona High School.
I got a number for you, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Give us a phone
Over
number.
the last 5 years, they've raised $15,000
That is
for
amazing.
local cancer services.
That is amazing.
Incredible stuff.
So both squads, both high schools participating with this very worthy cause, and we're always so grateful to see such community involvement here by these kids. That'll send us to halftime, where it's a 7-0 to lead here by Hillcrest. We'll come back with the second half right after these words.
Live local. Help support your favorite businesses with the Shop Riverside Community Card. With over 200 Riverside businesses giving exclusive discounts and offers to community card holders, there's something for everyone. Participating organizations sell these cards for only $15 each, with $10 going straight back to the organization itself, making the Shop Riverside Community Card a fantastic way to support your favorite local group. For more information about the Shop Riverside Community Card and to find participating businesses, please visit shopriversidenow.com. And don't forget to live local. Shop Riverside.
California leads the nation in railroad trespass-related fatalities. In 2021, there were 243 trespass casualties in California. We can all help reduce trespass-related incidents even further if we never trespass on railroad property for any reason. That means no biking or walking near tracks. Railroad property is private property. The only safe place to cross train tracks is at a designated crossing. September is Rail Safety Month. Please do your part. And whenever you see tracks, always think train.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD for a traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431.
And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right. We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
California leads the nation in railroad trespass-related fatalities. In 2021, there were 243 trespass casualties in California. Trespassing is one of the most challenging safety issues plaguing California's railroad corridors. In Riverside County alone, there were 19 trespass-related casualties last year. But the positive news is those numbers have dropped over the years because of the efforts of California Operation Lifesaver and partnering agencies like RCTC and Metrolink. We can all help reduce trespass-related incidents even further if we never trespass on railroad property for any reason. That means no biking or walking near tracks. Railroad property is private property. The only safe place to cross train tracks is at a designated crossing. September is Rail Safety Month, so please do your part. And whenever you see tracks, always think train. And stay off, stay away, stay safe.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call, to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture, mattress, and appliance. The residents, they have 2 times a year, and these items, I put it in the back of the packer, and the packer crashes and compact these items so I can take it to the dump. My favorite part of the job is driving the truck. Since I was younger, my dream was to be a driver. And now that the city of Riverside gave me this opportunity, I really enjoy it. I'm really proud of what I do, because when I go to the residents' houses, I see the faces, they're happy because we're picking up the items they don't want anymore. So I try to get in here because this is a better job for me with a better stability. And I want to too because I want to set a good example for my 2 daughters that I have. One of my hobbies that I have is go hiking. I like the outside activities like camping, and I also enjoy riding motorcycles. If I have to describe my job in one word, it will be perfect.
Today is our very first building of a Little Free Pantry. We are building a Little Free Pantry in our community. It will be one of the 26 throughout Riverside that will help fill the gaps of food scarcity here in Riverside. Data is telling us now that 1 in 6 families are hungry. It's about 44% of adults and about 50% of children that are hungry here within our own neighborhood, in our own backyard.
Because of the pandemic, there's a lot of hunger out there. There's a lot of families in need, and we hope that this will act as a bridge until families are able to get the food that they need. I think that there are always those times where we are living paycheck to paycheck and we need just a few cans of something to get us by. So these little pantries will serve in that capacity, and we're really excited to see something that will help families in need.
And this has been a wonderful collaboration with the Riverside Mutual Aid Network, IEHP, here at Sandals Church, and the City of Riverside. So this has been a fantastic opportunity for community members to step up and to fill a real void in our city, which is food insecurity. So the idea is that if one of these free little pantries in your neighborhood, you could stock it as frequently or as infrequently as you want to. And the idea behind it is that when people have extra food, it doesn't go to waste.
These pantries are just kind of the first step, right, for reintroducing neighbors back to each other, getting folks involved in taking care of each other again, and just strengthening those community bonds that Riverside is so known for. Because things like food drives and food distributions, they're really good, but they only help folks in that moment of need. And we wanted to create something that would continue giving back 5, 10, 15 years from now, and really allow the community to get back into taking care of each other instead of maybe relying on, just government or nonprofit structures to kind of take care of them.
If others want to follow suit, they can apply at riversideca.gov/cares as an application, or they can email us at neighbor@riversideca.gov to receive an application to host a Little Free Pantry in their neighborhood.
Live local. Help support your favorite businesses with the Shop Riverside Community Card. With over 200 Riverside businesses giving exclusive discounts and offers to community card holders, there's something for everyone. Participating organizations sell these cards for only $15 each, with $10 going straight back to the organization itself, making the Shop Riverside Community Card a fantastic way to support your favorite local group. For more information about the Shop Riverside Community Card and to find participating businesses, please visit shopriversidenow.com. And don't forget to live local. Shop Riverside.
California leads the nation in railroad trespass-related fatalities. In 2021, there were 243 trespass casualties in California. We can all help reduce trespass-related incidents even further if we never trespass on railroad property for any reason. That means no biking or walking near tracks. Railroad property is private property. The only safe place to cross train tracks is at a designated crossing. September is Rail Safety Month. Please do your part. And whenever you see tracks, always think train.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD for a traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431.
And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right. We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
California leads the nation in railroad trespass-related fatalities. In 2021, there were 243 trespass casualties in California. Trespassing is one of the most challenging safety issues plaguing California's railroad corridors. In Riverside County alone, there were 19 trespass-related casualties last year. But the positive news is those numbers have dropped over the years because of the efforts of California Operation Lifesaver and partnering agencies like RCTC and Metrolink. We can all help reduce trespass-related incidents even further if we never trespass on railroad property for any reason. That means no biking or walking near tracks. Railroad property is private property. The only safe place to cross train tracks is at a designated crossing. September is Rail Safety Month, so please do your part. And whenever you see tracks, always think train. And stay off, stay away, stay safe.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture, mattress, and appliance. The residents, they have 2 times a year, and these items, I put it in the back of the packer, and the packer crashes and compact these items so I can take it to the dump. My favorite part of the job is driving the truck. Since I was younger, my dream was to be a driver. And now that the City of Riverside gave me this opportunity, I really enjoy it. I'm really proud of what I do because when I go to the residents' houses, I see the faces, they're happy because we're picking up the items they don't want anymore. So I try to get in here because this is a better job for me with a better stability. And I wanted to because I want to set a good example for my 2 daughters that I have. One of my hobbies that I have is go hiking. I like the outside activities like camping, and I also enjoy riding motorcycles. If I have to describe my job in one word, it will be perfect.
our very first building of a little free pantry. We are building a little free pantry in our community. It will be one of the 26 throughout Riverside that will help fill the gaps of food scarcity here in Riverside. Data is telling us now that 1 in 6 families are hungry. It's about 44% of adults and about 50% of children that are hungry here within our own neighborhood, in our own backyard.
Because of the pandemic, there's a lot of hunger out there. There's a lot of families in need, and we hope that this will act as a bridge until families are able to get the food that they need. I think that there are always those times where we are living paycheck to paycheck and we need just a few cans of something to get us by. So these little pantries will serve in that capacity, and we're really excited to see something that will help families in need.
And this has been a wonderful collaboration with the Riverside Mutual Aid Network, IEHP, here at Sandals Church, and the City of Riverside. So this has been a fantastic opportunity for community members to step up and to fill a real void in our city, which is food insecurity. So the idea is that if one of these free little pantries in your neighborhood, you could stock it as frequently or as infrequently as you want to. And the idea behind it is that when people have extra food, it doesn't go to waste.
These pantries are just kind of the first step, right, for reintroducing neighbors back to each other, getting folks involved in taking care of each other again, and just strengthening those community bonds that Riverside is so known for. Because things like food drives and food distributions, they're really good, but they only help folks in that moment of need. And we wanted to create something that would continue giving back 5, 10, 15 years from now, and really allow the community to get back into taking care of each other, instead of maybe relying on, just government or nonprofit structures to kind of take care of them.
If others want to follow suit, they can apply at riversideca.gov/cares as an application, or they can email us at neighbor@riversideca.gov to receive an application to host a little free pantry in their neighborhood.
Live local. Help support your favorite businesses with the Shop Riverside Community Card. With over 200 Riverside businesses giving exclusive discounts and offers to community cardholders, there's something for everyone. Participating organizations sell these cards for only $15 each, with $10 going straight back to the organization itself, making the Shop Riverside Community Card a fantastic way to support your favorite local group. For more information about the Shop Riverside Community Card and to find participating businesses, please visit shopriversidenow.com. And don't forget to live local. Shop Riverside.
California leads the nation in railroad trespass-related fatalities. In 2021, there were 243 trespass casualties in California. We can all help reduce trespass-related incidents even further if we never trespass on railroad property for any reason. That means no biking or walking near tracks. Railroad property is private property. The only safe place to cross train tracks is at a designated crossing. September is Rail Safety Month. Please do your part. And whenever you see tracks, always think train.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD for a traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431.
And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help, so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right. We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
California leads the nation in railroad trespass-related fatalities. In 2021, there were 243 trespass casualties in California. Trespassing is one of the most challenging safety issues plaguing California's railroad corridors. In Riverside County alone, there were 19 trespass-related casualties last year. But the positive news is those numbers have dropped over the years because of the efforts of California Operation Lifesaver and partnering agencies like RCTC and Metrolink. We can all help reduce trespass-related incidents even further if we never trespass on railroad property for any reason. That means no biking or walking near tracks. Railroad property is private property. The only safe place to cross train tracks is at a designated crossing. September is Rail Safety Month, so please do your part. And whenever you see tracks, always think train. And stay off, stay away, stay safe.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings, the residents call to the city.
Welcome back to Ramona High School as a 7-0 lead here by the Trojans of Hillcrest against the Rams of Ramona. J.R. Ibarra along with Nick Rice bringing you all the action here in our Riverside TV Game of the Week on a balmy Friday night. Still at 80 degrees here in the beautiful city of Riverside. In fact, about an hour before kickoff time, it was 99 degrees at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's been kind of a warm one. I can't say it's unseasonably hot. I mean, it does get warm here in October.
We got a little bit, we got the last week's cold front in there.
Right,
so
taste of fall.
Yeah, a taste of fall.
And we still have a taste of summer, which is okay with me. I'm okay with the hot weather standing by. Hey, with this live telecast, stick around here for later tonight at about 11 p.m. for the Pep Rally with Pep Fernandez. Jeff Gorham,
sure it's not the Jeff Rally?
And a cameo appearance by our own Nick Rice, who will be in studio.
Cool.
What's nice about this program is it brings you highlights, stats from around the Inland Empire. It's not just for the city of Riverside.
That's incredible.
So anything related to high school football around the region here, they will cover. So tonight, 11 p.m., it's the Pep Rally here on Riverside TV.
And it should be noted they have guest appearances, cameo for me, but like full-fledged interviews for guys like Ahmed, who was a big comedian here in Riverside, and he was on the Pep Rally last Friday night. Really cool stuff.
Quickly, Nick, let's take a look at some stats from that very interesting first half of play.
Okay, and by the way, scores from across the entire league. You don't have to wait till 11. We're going to have it here in just a second.
There you go.
First of all, the number I'd like to look at, Ramona outgained Hillcrest 127-78. So that is a 49-yard advantage for Ramona, but the only 2 turnovers of the game were by the Rams. That's the difference. And Hillcrest up 7-0. The Rams left at the minimum 10 points on the board, if not 14 or more, by the 2 turnovers in the 7-0 lead. For those of you just joining us, Hillcrest, on their first drive of the game, went 7 plays, 35 yards. Christian Alvarado found Aiden Parks for a 15-yard touchdown. Neither team has scored since.
Matthew Ramos and Nicholas Shaw are back to receive the kickoff here as the Trojans will have the ball in the in the second half of play. Jose Martinez, who's also an offensive lineman, doing the kicking duties here for the Rams of Ramona. And we are underway. Nice boot. Little bit of a bobble. Ball taken right at about the 2-yard line. And still on the spin move, taking the ball right to about the 29. And that's where the Trojans will operate with a first down and 10. Nice run back there by Nicholas Shaw.
All right, so this isn't the only game underway right now in prep football for Friday night. Our other Riverside TV game at the half, the Wolves of King have humiliated Santiago. You'll hear all about the first half performance. King up 21-0 over Santiago. Notre Vista leads in a good one, 21-13 over La Sierra. The Eagles winless this year, but playing well against the Braves.
Put up a fight.
Patriot up 14-3 at home at the half against Arlington. Also, Cajun has shut out Redlands. That game final from yesterday, 36-0. At the half, Yucaipa leads Redlands East Valley 28-0.
And as you say that, Matthew Ramos on the keeper. Looks like he'll have enough for the first down as he pushes the ball just past the 35-yard line. So right off the bat, once again, Hillcrest showing a different style in the background with Matthew Ramos taking the direct snap.
Yeah, whenever Alvarado tries that play, it hasn't worked out for him. Ramos tonight, 6 carries for 42 yards.
Once again, it's Ramos on the keeper. Eludes one defender. Finally gets wrestled down for maybe a pickup of 2 yards on the carry. Credit the stop on the play to Royce Mendoza.
Yeah, Matthew Ramos, 7 carries for 45 yards tonight. Hillcrest has done a solid job on the ground with now 70 yards as a team rushing. But Alvarado, when they're forcing them to throw the ball, the team is just 2 for 7 in passing. So, that's the game plan. Ramona's got to do a good job in the half, winning the battle up front and force them to throw it.
Once again, it's Ramos on the keeper. He gets hit pretty significantly there by Peter Mesa, who has 73 tackles so far coming into the contest tonight.
Pretty busy season for Peter Mesa. And, considering his physicality and toughness, I'm not surprised they thought about him playing both ways at running back, but he has really found himself a home at that linebacker spot.
Ramos remains in the backfield here for the Trojans on a 3rd and a long 5 scenario here for Hillcrest. Long count. Looks back over to Travis Carter. Going to do a little switch up on Vences and where he lines up. Back on the rollout. Looking downfield, has a potential man open. And not able to get a handle on the ball was Nicholas Shaw. Closely guarded on the play. And it'll bring up a 4th down scenario here for the Trojans, but it looks like there's a flag that may go against the Rams.
And it was a late flag. That must have been after the play. Well, it looks like they're going to waive it. First pass of the ball game for Matthew Ramos, and that's the game plan. Ramona, it's very simple. Make them throw the football, and the Trojans have not had a successful night, to say the least. Under 3 yards per pass attempt for this offense, but about 7 yards a run for that offense on the ground.
Credit Royce Mendoza for breaking up the play defensively there for the Rams. Still some discussion going on. And it will go against, actually we have offsetting penalties.
Yeah, I believe so sideline warnings, if I'm not mistaken.
It'll be a replay of the down. So it's a 3rd, no, they're going to make it a 4th. 4th down scenario.
Sometimes the chains are the last to know about what's going on in the field.
That is so true.
Because, man, it's been a minute.
Matthew Ramos back to punt here. He's been kind of a do-it-all type of player for the Trojans. Kind of a line drive. First hits the turf, and it looks like the Rams will just let it bounce right to about the 20-yard line. Very wise move there by Troy Long of Ramona. So let's see if there's been any adjustments being made here in the start of the second half for the Rams of Ramona. Kind of a really frustrating first half offensively when you look at some of the stats there.
Yeah, so Ramona in 5 drives have ended with a punt, missed field goal, fumble, punt, and an interception. So not an ideal start to the game for the Rams. Jeremiah Acosta, their quarterback, if you take out the 2 turnovers, has played pretty good. 5 of 9 with 55 yards, 7 rushes, another 13 yards. The turnovers have really hurt him.
On a 1st down and 10, the give is to Tolbert. And he'll fall forward for a pickup of close to 3 on the carry.
The player of the half, without a doubt, was Sincere Tolbert.
Yes.
Now 7 carries for 60 yards. The guy is running so well, it almost makes you wonder why they aren't featuring him more in this offense. Every time they give him the ball, running or receiving, great things happen. That's not the story in the half. That's been the story all year for Ramona.
Credit 4 yards on the carry for Tolbert, so it's a 2nd down and 6 situation here for the Rams. On the rollout, Acosta looking out to his left. Just past the reach of one of his receivers, and that would have been out of bounds most likely if it had been caught. Intended receiver of Cody Shiner.
And, this is the thing I'm talking about again. For Jeremiah Acosta, very talented player. He has 17 combined plays, passes, and runs. Tolbert with 7. So, to me, the winning game plan is featuring Tolbert. Listen, I'm not a coach. I'm up here in the booth, okay? But Sincere Tolbert, the numbers don't lie. When you feed him the ball, great things happen.
3rd and 6 is the situation. Back to pass Acosta. And drops to the turf, drops the football momentarily. They're going to rule it down, but it'll be a loss on the play, and we'll bring up a 4th down and punting situation here for the Rams. So the frustration continues offensively here for Ramona.
You're in a 1-score game, and you only give your best offensive threat tonight 1 touch of the football. I am just baffled by the game plan right now for Ramona coming right out of the half.
So Matthew Ramos will once again be back to receive the punt, standing at his own 50-yard line, or right at midfield, I should say. Brandon Ruiz doing the punting duties. We're early here in the 3rd quarter of play. Ball is spotted right at the 20 of Ramona. Good snap. Pretty good rush. And the ball will dribble out of bounds right at about the 46-yard line of Ramona. So it's some pretty good field position here for this second offensive scrimmage in the second half here for the Trojans of Hillcrest.
So for folks, that came in and we promised it, Bill, the Riverside Game of the Week, all right? You have 2 football teams that know a loss will basically end their hopes of the league championship and basically end, not mathematically, but most likely end their chances for the playoffs. So this was a huge football game. And then we come out here through 2.5 quarters, and it's been a complete snooze fest. We've had 12 drives tonight. 6 of them have ended in punts, and 11 of them have ended without points.
Give us the Vences. Gets belted, but will pick up a 1st down. So that is really the running we have normally seen with Vences, and it looks like there's going to be an up-tempo situation here for the Trojans. Let's take a second look at this one, Nick.
Alfredo Vences, 3.5 yards a carry in the first half, a whole lot more than that. In fact, his longest run of the night right here.
Beautiful work by the offensive line to open things up here. Offensively, once again, doing it again. And in for the score is Alfredo Vences. Just like that, 33 yards on the carry for a touchdown.
It was only a matter of time before Vences would break through. That was the narrative in the first half. His longest run was 8. He comes out with a 14-yard inside run, and then he breaks 1-3 for a 33-yard touchdown. The Rams were way too anxious defensively. They bring it all out blitz, and when you blitz, you can give up big plays just like that.
I tell you what, once again, give credit to that front line here by the Trojans as the kick is up. And it's good. So now we have a 14-0 lead with 7:24 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. So defensively, the Trojans have really frustrated the Rams throughout this contest, throughout this evening, and now put things on the ground and have really brought to life Vences in what he normally does on a week-by-week basis.
Yeah, so, just a frustrating night for the Rams to think the offense is giving you nothing. 6 drives, 2 turnovers, 3 punts, and an end of the half. That'll not get it done against anybody. And now Hillcrest is starting to find their running game. I know it's a 14-0 deficit, but, you got to feature Sincere Tolbert. I would be shocked if he isn't the focal point on this drive. I know they're down, but there's plenty of time left to come back. You got to get your best player the football.
Absolutely. So it'll be Lerma back along with Shiner. right at their own end zone. Diaz on a very short kick gets picked up by the Trojans. Oh my goodness. Unreal. That was completely unexpected. I don't know if that was planned, Nick, but nonetheless.
I'd say it might have been.
Well, knowing Travis Carter, we wouldn't be surprised that it would be a design play to catch off guard the special teams there by the Rams. Incredible field position now here for the Trojans.
Well, on the eve of the Sean Payton Bowl, Sean Payton, head coach of the Broncos, playing the Jets, who he trashed in all the preseason hype, and his conversation about how they weren't very well coached with Nathaniel Hackett. That's a Sean Payton type of play call right there.
With a first down and 10 at the 29, Vinces gets tripped up right after a pickup of about a yard on the carry. Troy Long making the stop there for the Rams, so it'll be a 1 yard gainer here by Vinces. Matthew Ramos now back, lining up as quarterback. So Travis Carter is going back to that well, which has really been very effective so far in this football game.
Sure has. And, in a situation like this, scratch my thoughts of Tolbert running the ball. You're down 21 if you're Ramona, or even 17, and you may have to throw the ball late in this stage of the game. This is a huge drive for both teams.
2nd and 9. Man in motion is Vinces. Gets tripped up in the backfield, wrapped up almost immediately by Luis Mena, one of those key players defensively here for the Rams. A linebacker and only a sophomore.
You're right. Very exciting young defense. The Rams have 4 sophomores starting in the front 7 of that defense.
That'll push the Trojans back.
It should be noted, though, when you go to the bag of tricks like that was a jet sweep for Vinces. Sometimes you'll lose 5 like that.
3rd and 14 scenario here for the Trojans now. Back to pass. Alvarado. Looking long, has a man open and overthrows his intended receiver on the play. That was Chad Phillips. He was there. Phillips was 3-4 steps ahead of his defender and could have easily gotten it in for the score.
Well, that's the effect you can have as a defense when you keep hitting a quarterback in the first half of a game. You start to rattle and shake some of his confidence and timing. There, Alvarado had the guy open, but that pressure was coming in again, and he rushed it.
So here it's a 4th down situation. Alvarado's going to come out. Matthew Ramos is going to come back in. But keep in mind, Ramos is also the punter on this team, so he could do a pooch kick.
No one's deep for Ramona.
Although, again, going to the bag of tricks, actually Alvarado's going to get lined up as a wide receiver. So Matthew Ramos in the shotgun, lone setback, 4th down and 14. Back to pass. Looking long, has some green.
He was over the line.
And play is broken up. It was intended for McDowell. And a turnover on down, so unfortunately the Trojans were not able to capitalize on that. And we'll turn things over here to the Rams of Ramona.
I got to say, they were lucky because Ramos was about 2 yards over the line of scrimmage. A penalty there, maybe they accept it, and that could change field position even more. Nevertheless, Ramona in a huge spot, middle of the 3rd quarter off an onside kick. They forced the 4 and out, and the mood completely changes. Rams could still open up the playbook on this drive.
Yeah, this is almost a must-score situation here for the Rams. Clock is continuing to roll. Actually, it stopped at 5:47. Acosta under pressure again. Gets pushed out of the pocket, almost taken down, still looking downfield. Going to take it, and we'll pick up maybe 6 to 7 on the carry.
What's really ironic about Hillcrest is that their points have come on standard drives. They've gone for 4th down twice and have missed. They recovered onside kicks, got nothing out of it. And, for Ramona, it's ironic to think they've done great in the 4th down situation, but they just haven't been able to capitalize. Jeremiah Acosta trying to get something going himself.
More of a pickup of 5 on the carry, so it's a 2nd down and 5 situation here for the Rams. Clock stopped at 5:31. Tolbert gets wrapped up. Don't know if they'll give him any forward progress as he gets met by a group of Trojans. That includes the likes of James Maldonado. Also credit Robert Bustamante on making the defensive stop as well.
Got a man down. That interior defense has played much better to begin the second half, but they face a huge blow here with one of their main interior defenders down on the field.
Okay, on the turf, that appears to be Juan Antonio Luvano, a defensive tackle and a senior on the turf. Well, looks like he's going to get up under his own power, which is good to see. So that's good from the Trojan standpoint.
It should be noted this is one of our 2 Riverside TV games. They're underway in the third, King and Santiago. Our score is still 21-0, and Santiago begins the third quarter of the long drive, and they're at the King 2-yard line. So,
okay.
Santiago, as mentioned, a brutal 0-6 start to the season. School out of Corona, not to be mistaken by other programs named Santiago. But here they are, making it a game on Riverside TV. That is our other broadcast. Actually, they just, nope, never mind. They didn't score.
On a 3rd down and 3, it's Tolbert with plenty of green. Finally gets tripped up inside of the 30, but a long run will put the Rams deep in the territory here of Hillcrest Trojans.
You know, if I could scream down on the field to give Tolbert the ball more, I absolutely would. Why they only gave him 6 carries in the first half is beyond me. Keep feeding this guy. Great things happen when you give him the football.
Taking a second look at this one. Hopefully we'll get a chance to take a second look before this play goes off.
Looks like we have
first
time.
Down and 10 scenario.
I mean, he read that play all the way. Great job and a terrific effort up front.
Once again, it's Tolbert on the carry. Looks like he'll get 3 on that particular run. Aaron Candia making the stop there for the Trojans. Close to 5 on the pickup.
So the guy has 9.7 yards a carry tonight. 10 for 97. I mean, keep feeding this guy.
2nd and 5. Pass goes out and was intended for Troy Long. Credit Matthew Ramos for breaking things up defensively for the Trojans. Stops the clock at 4:04.
All right, I'm absolutely a broken record with this Sincere Tolbert guy, so I'll move on for sure. But
would you move on, Nick?
Would you
just get over
But I mean,
this
that's
already?
been the story for years. Maybe Mashinsky's tired of running the football. Bo Bruins had about 1 million touchdown runs in a couple of years with Ramona, and now he's gray shirting at RCC. So best of luck in the future for Bo Bruins at one of the greatest junior college football teams in the country.
3rd and 5 situation, and they cough up the football, but the Rams will get it and possibly with the cough up get a first down.
Yeah.
Because the ball was spotted or was down before the first down marker. Peter Mesa comes up with a rock, and that will bring up a first down scenario inside the red zone here for the Rams of Ramona.
It is interesting how they feature him now, first carry of the game for him, but he's a capable runner too, is Mesa.
Ball spotted inside of the 15. Once again, it's Tolbert. Muscles his way in for the score. 14 yards on the carry and puts the Rams onto the scoreboard for the first time tonight.
You know, it's real unusual to go from one great runner to another, but one of those 28 graduates from last year was one of the best running backs in the country, statistically, Bo Bruins.
Absolutely.
They replace him with Sincere Tolbert. I mean, it's almost impossible to replace a Bo Bruins, but man, this guy is really, really close. When you give the ball to, Sincere Tolbert, you know, it's hard to recognize much of a difference. They're both very agile, strong. PAT's no good. You wonder if that'll hurt him later in the game. But this is a guy, hopefully we'll get a look at it, but Sincere Tolbert is deceptively fast. It looks like he's jogging out there, but when he gets ahead of steam, he's very tough to stop.
Head coach Ken Mashinsky, on the coach's perspective earlier this week, was talking about Sincere Tolbert and was telling Jeff Gorham just how delightful it is to coach this young man because he's very teachable. He's very persistent in what he does and has been increasing his skills throughout the season, and we're seeing it here in the second half of play. Let's take a second look at this one, Jeff. Or Nick. Confusing you with the wrong person here.
Yeah, both of us are very, very funny people, and you'll hear a lot of that on the pep rally. Yep.
There's an identical resemblance.
Same height. We're both very, very handsome. Those are things that a lot of people are talking about out there on Riverside TV.
Nicholas Shaw and Matthew Ramos will be back to receive this one. My apologies to you, Nick.
I know. What are you doing comparing me to him? Okay,
you're
very, very disrespectful.
You're incomparable.
You'll hear a lot of that tonight on the pep rally with Pep Fernandez, of course.
Martinez with a nice boot. Ball's going to be taken right at the 5-yard line. And making the spin move and finally brought down. Nicholas Shaw on the run back. Gets taken down by Russell Wilkerson. So we're at 3:24 here in the third quarter of play. Ball is spotted right at the 25-yard line of the Trojans. So I would imagine that Travis Carter, the head coach here for Hillcrest, just want to continue ball control. Christian Alvarado is back as your quarterback. Vences again in the backfield. So it's a 1st down and 10 situation at their own 25 for Hillcrest. Vences gets wrapped up after a carry of maybe 2. Credit Troy Long on the stop. Troy Long came into this contest with 78 total tackles.
That's a pretty busy year for Troy Long. In fact, that number would put him towards the top of the southern section.
Once again, he is only a sophomore, so this young class of Rams are making a huge impact here in this 23 season.
And the reason why I thought Ramona could potentially win the league is because of the excellent coaching of Mashinsky and Bunch. While they may not win it this year, they have all the talent and the experience coming up to win it next year.
On a 2nd and 9, nice grab. Will get a 1st down and take the ball right to about the 45-yard line. Credit to catch to Chad Phillips, making a huge reception here for the Trojans. Moves the chains and gives Hillcrest some great field position here.
Put this on the game tape and send it to young kids. Here's how you go and save your quarterback who takes a hit.
Look at that reach.
Terrific catch. I would, if I was a coaching staff, reward a guy that's going to lay out like that for a catch.
Vences on the carry. Looks like he'll get the 1st down as he puts the ball right at the 45-yard line of the Rams.
That was some play by Alfredo Vences for the 1st down. We've got a showdown of 2 great running backs tonight, folks. Over 100 yards for Tolbert, nearly the same for Alfredo Vences.
See Vences. Once again, great work by the offensive line to make things happen for Alfredo. And here we have a 1st down and 10 situation here for the Trojans. Once again, it's Vences on the carry, blasts his way forward. Looks like it'll be a pickup of close to 6 on the play. Once again, it's Troy Long making the stop. So the clock continues to roll. We're getting close to the end of the third quarter. We'll be inside of a minute and a half here, with the ball spotted right at the 40-yard line of Ramona. So the Trojans just continuing on with this ball control, taking their time, taking seconds off of the clock.
It's working. Keep feeding Vences. Great things happen. Same story for them too.
Alvarado to Vences. Picks up another 1st down as he puts the ball inside of the 35.
What's interesting when you're a defense trying to cover a small running back is that sometimes you can't even see him. And I think some of the Rams are starting to feel that. In the second half, it becomes a little harder when you're fatigued, when you're on the field for as long as they have, to keep defending a small running back, especially in an offense where a guy like Matthew Ramos can fake a handoff.
First down and 10 here for the Trojans. Keeper by Alvarado. Looks like it was maybe a bit of a bad snap. I don't know if he's going to get credited with a yard of the carry.
It is really strange. Yeah, they're not going to give him a yard at all. Matthew Ramos and Christian Alvarado are both great runners, but for some reason, whenever Alvarado runs the ball, it seems like he can't get anything going.
Yeah, looks like there's no gain on the play. Alvarado will continue to be your quarterback here with Vences in the backfield. As you were mentioning, Nick, Vences is only 5'6", 155 pounds. He's just
not the biggest runner in this league.
Not the biggest running back in River Valley League play. They may not get a playoff before this quarter comes to an end.
Are you ready for the playoffs to come down to one quarter?
It could very well do such. So just like that, that will end the third quarter of play. As we head into the fourth, it's the Trojans of Hillcrest leading this one by 14-6. Hey, for those of you watching live, once again, don't forget to join us at 11 p.m. right here on Riverside TV for the Pep Rally with our own Pep Fernandez, Jeff Gorham, and a cameo appearance by Nick Rice. Here
they
on
always
Riverside
do
TV.
that. Man. They always get my name wrong.
It's
hard.
Rice,
I get it.
Rice.
I get it.
There's
Rice is such a hard
There's
name.
a lot of variations to your name.
Oh, really? I hear that all the time.
I mean, there's so many different ways it could be stated. But once again, folks, join Pep Fernandez with the Pep Rally live at 11 p.m. right here on Riverside TV. We'll have stats, highlights from around the Inland Empire, not just for our Riverside games. So there's a lot of things to talk about here within our region. So it's been a great show that we've put together here in this 23 season. Just another expansion of all the things we do athletically here on Riverside TV.
Yep, absolutely. It's an award-winning crew, GR, and I gotta say, it's GR, right? There's a lot of ways.
There's a lot of variations, and I have been called a variety of different initials, I can tell you that.
And there's nobody in the state of California that does what we do on Riverside TV. It's incredible. We have double headers. We have everything for Riverside High School football. And
as well as community college football with Riverside Community College.
And it's just like a stroke of luck that we are here in the city with one of the greatest college football programs in America.
Yes.
It just so happens we're here with the great Tom Kraft in this one-in-a-generation coach and program, Riverside. The team's won about 90% of its games. They won the national championship in 2019, and they've made it to back-to-back state championships since. And that's just the Saturday content. We have all this on Friday, too.
I've said this before, but when you go and see Southern California community college football, you are seeing the same type of play you'd find at Division I and Division II.
Exactly.
Because a lot of those players are Division I, Division II worthy, but just for some reason, they're either not recruited, they get
overlooked,
slip through the cracks, and you see very high quality football here at RCC.
Or they have horrible grades, and they didn't slip through the cracks.
We're not going to touch that scenario.
We're not going to touch. So in the last decade, to your point, RCC has transferred 287. That's
impressive.
3 full football teams of recruits to Division I programs. 287. That's incredible.
Coach Kraft has done a remarkable job with the Tigers. So tune in here to Riverside TV for also our college football coverage here. On a 2nd and 10, Vences on the carry, gets tripped up. Maybe a pickup of close to 5. Troy Long once again in on the stop here for Ramona. 3rd down and 5 is your situation now for the Trojans. Kind of going a little bit up-tempo. Travis Carter, your head coach, giving the hand signals over to his quarterback and Christian Alvarado. Vences once again your lone running back. Early here in the 4th quarter of play. Alvarado tosses it out.
Ooh.
And that was a dangerous throw. It looks like it was almost picked off by Jordan Daniel.
Alfredo Vences tonight, their running back, 98 yards on 16 carries. That's 6 yards a run with the touchdown we saw earlier in the 3rd quarter. His receiving numbers are not all that spectacular, so they may need to, on this 4th down, if they go for it, target one of the guys outside.
Matthew Ramos is back in as quarterback. So
now they've missed
surprised.
2 4th downs, by the way, JR, so this is going to be tough.
It's a gamble, but that's what Travis Carter does. We're not surprised at this kind of play calling at all from Carter. So now 4th down situation here, 4th and 6 for the Trojans. Back to pass. Ramos getting chased out of the pocket, looking downfield. Ball gets picked off right at, nope, are they going to call it incomplete? It was momentarily picked off. Looks like on the play was Jordan Daniel.
Well, I was shaking my head on that one. If that pass is picked off, Ramona loses about 30 yards of field position. So it almost was a great thing that the ball slipped out of his hands. 4th and long, tough to pick up. I don't know if you're better off punting there, but I do know that maybe an end zone shot wasn't the greatest idea into coverage like that.
Yeah, he never had possession. So like you said, Nick, it's probably a good thing that they dropped that football as it's now spotted right just past the 30-yard line. Tolbert on the carry with a lot of green. Gets pushed out of bounds by Ramos, but not after a big gainer and a 1st down. Ball will now be spotted right at about the 46-yard line of the Trojans.
I think there's a little bit of a theme here, JR. You give the ball to Tolbert, great things happen. I would just hand it to him the rest of the game. You can't go wrong.
You can kind of see it wearing down that defensive line here by the Trojans as it's a 1st down and 10 with the ball spotted at the 45 of Hillcrest. Keeper on the play by Acosta. He'll pick up about 6 on the carry. So they're just keeping it on the ground. That ball control that we've been seeing out of the Trojans now going over in favor of the Rams.
Well, with Tolbert, Mesa, and Jeremiah Acosta, there's so much speed in the inside that it almost changes how you line up formation-wise as a defense. You can't have big guys out there defending these speed guys.
Tolbert gets stopped almost immediately, but keeps it moving and will pick up another 1st down as he moves the chains right to about the 31-yard line.
You can see this defense starting to wear down. And when you have big defensive linemen covering speed and quickness, and guys like Acosta who will drag on a play, that'll wear you down over the course of a game. You can see the tackling might have been much more effective in the 1st quarter, but it's not nearly as effective in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, the initial wrap-up just did not happen, and he had to be chased down by Mohamed Lalisi. And once again, Tolbert. Yeah, maybe pickup of 2 on the carry, maybe a yard or so. No forward progress. We'll call it a 2nd down and 10 situation here for the Rams. Clock rolling early here in the final quarter of play. Oh, bobble on the snap by Acosta. Looking downfield, getting chased. Still on his feet. He eluded 3 different defenders. Stays on his feet. Will pick up a 1st down as the ball is going to get spotted inside of the 15. Wow, talk about really picking up something big here.
This guy's special, but you got to feel for this Trojans defense. They just look gassed right now. Tackling is becoming a huge problem for them. Let's check out this play again. 1st quarter, Acosta has no chance, and you're almost dreading what Acosta is going to do in this situation if you're the coach, feeling, the worst thing you could do is keep on running with the play broken down like this.
Look at that.
But he makes magic happen.
Amazingly done. Acosta here, a bit of a broken play. Finally wrestled down. Going to be a pickup of about
horse
1.
collar.
Yeah, that's definitely a horse collar tackle, so that'll add some more yards here and will give them a 1st and goal situation.
Just the first penalty flag thrown in the 2nd half, and that's huge.
Could not come at a worse time here for the Trojans. So the ball was spotted inside of the 15. They'll mark things off. And should give the Rams a 1st and goal scenario. Yep, ball is now spotted right at about the 7. 1st and goal here for the Rams. Opportune here with the doors wide open to put something up on the scoreboard. Tolbert puts it on the turf. Oh my goodness.
Ramona keeps it,
possession.
It appears.
They are very fortunate.
And here comes Peter Mesa.
This is what puts gray hairs on your head if you're a coach, man.
You know, this is probably why these coaches sometimes need a break.
Absolutely.
When you lean on a guy who's been working for you tonight and then that happens, maybe, you wonder how that exchange was, but nevertheless, that was a lucky break.
Loss of a yard, so it's at the 8-yard line. Tolbert gets wrapped up. Not even gets to the line of scrimmage, so credit the hit on the play to Kristen Benitez.
Yeah, Hillcrest, I don't know what happened, but they look exhausted to begin the drive, but they're starting to find themselves defensively. The Rams haven't thrown the ball much at all. In fact, Acosta is 0 for 1 in the second half, so he's done next to nothing throwing the ball, but with his speed, this could be a running situation too.
Once again, a little bit of a loss here for the Rams, so it's a 3rd and goal at the 9. Back to pass. Acosta getting swept out of the pocket. Throws it in the turf. Incomplete.
Miscommunication by running back and right tackle on that play. Sincere Tolbert, it appeared, most likely should have been the one to pick up the blitz, but he misses the linebacker coming out of the blind side. And while Acosta did a good job of buying time, that play didn't stand a chance.
Zaya Guerrera, your outside linebacker, effectively making the pressure then on Acosta, so this will bring up a field goal attempt here by the Rams.
And here's where that missed PAT hurts you, because now maybe Ramona is compelled to go for it, but they're down 8. They need points.
Kick is up, on the way. Looks good, and it is. So the Rams are able to at least put something up on the scoreboard. And at 7:32, it's a 14-9 contest, still in favor here of Hillcrest.
That was some drive, I tell you. It's Sincere Tolbert's big run to begin it sparked the offense. They looked completely jazzed, and then all of a sudden, later in the drive, they just couldn't pick up the blitzes from Hillcrest. And, credit the coaching staff for creating some interesting designs to shake up the Rams up front.
So we'll see if the Trojans can kind of stick to their game plan with that ball control and clock control situation. As we're now at 7:32 remaining in this game. Once again, back to receive. It is Ramos along with Nicholas Shaw. Martinez will tee it up and kick it off here for the Rams. Great to have you along with us here on Riverside TV. J.R. Ibarra along with Nick Rice bringing you all the action here from Ramona High School in the beautiful city of Riverside, California on a balmy night for football on this October Friday. Nice line drive kick. Ramos just kind of hands it one-handed, still looking for some area to put it through. And we have a flag down on the field as Ramos takes it right to about the 24-yard line. This might go against the Rams. The Zebra Stripes going to discuss things over. And we have a holding call actually against the Trojans. Looks like there might be a double infraction. So likely a half distance to the goal situation here now for the Trojans. This really sets them back, so this puts a unique situation for the Rams defense to try to make some things and come up with a stop here against the Trojans, Nick.
Yeah, they've done both schools have done a great job avoiding the penalty and big mistakes, with the exception of course, that brutal fumble from Jeremiah Costa late in that first half. That was huge. But both schools have done a decent job avoiding the mistakes, so any sort of advantage you can get field position-wise really helps.
Still trying to determine where they want to mark it off where the infraction had taken place. So it looks like the ball is now going to be spotted right at about the 15 of Hillcrest.
Since the onside kick, which you felt like probably would swing things in favor of Hillcrest, instead the Trojans have been completely overwhelmed. Outgained 112 to 22.
Wow.
That is strange. To recover an onside kick like that and then get completely manhandled, that I didn't see coming.
Alvarado on the give to Vences. Turns the corner, nothing there.
I mean, this is a completely different football team right now. I mean, Ramona, they had a frustrating first half. They come out in the third quarter even worse than in the second. Onside kick happens, and that was the moment, that defining moment. We brought it up here in the third quarter. That can completely change the game plan. If Hillcrest scores on that drive, they may not feature Sincere Tolbert much. They may have to throw the ball, and that completely hampers you as an offense. They make the defensive stop. Hillcrest misses a fourth down. That's been huge, giving the Rams good field position, and they've taken advantage.
Angel Barrios made the last stop, 2nd and 10 here for the Trojans. Vences once again, the carrier. This time he'll blast his way forward and pick up close to 6 on the carry. So Vences, just when he needs to step it up, he does it at the appropriate time.
That run now gives him 103 yards on 18 carries.
Wow.
A great night for Vences.
So that'll be his 4th 100-plus yards in a game here in this 23 season.
4 out of 7, I'd say not too bad.
3rd down and 4 for the Trojans. Ramos now in the backfield, and he's been dangerous in that scenario. Once again, Trojans taking their time. Ramos on the keeper. Just like that, he'll get the first down. I tell you, they've been so effective with that on Ramos. And now that'll push the sticks and spot the ball right at about the 31 of Hillcrest.
Man, this is such a tricky offense to stop because of the excellence of Matthew Ramos. I mean, this guy is such a decision maker. He not only is a great athlete, but when you keep faking handoffs like that, using misdirection, sometimes that'll hurt you. And we saw that earlier in the fourth quarter with a 5-yard loss from him. But a majority of this game, the Rams are spending a second or a half second guessing what's happening, and that's all Ramos needs to make a play.
Clock rolling, 1st down and 10 situation with Ramos on the carry again. Will pick up likely 6 on the play. Keeps the clock moving, keeps the chains moving as well. Now inside of 5 remaining in this contest.
Yeah, you know, he's not a typical quarterback because this guy is taking a pounding tonight, not just throwing the ball, but also with his runs. So, you know, that's got to get him going. He's feeling really good right now running the ball, it appears, and the Rams are just guessing out there right now.
What a tough kid, 5'6", 140 pounds. Once again, a reminder he's only a sophomore, and it's Ramos again on the carry. Gets stood up, might get forward progress for 2. We'll see how they spot the football. Stop on the play by Michael Perez, your defensive back. It'll be a 3rd and short scenario now for the Trojans. Vences is going to come out. And it looks like they're going to bring in Joaquin Dominguez.
Matthew Ramos, 12 carries for 66 yards tonight. Alfredo Vences, 18 carries for 102 yards tonight. So Hillcrest streak of now 6 straight games with 160 yards rushing or more, and that's still intact. And when you're talking about this offense, I mean, the Rams knew it coming in. They have to stop and make them throw the football. And right now the Rams, while they did a good job to begin the fourth quarter, they're having a really tough time getting them behind the chains here.
Okay, they respotted the down marker.
Yeah, that was weird. They lost about 4 yards.
They lost
right there.
4 yards on that respot. That's kind of strange scenario. So that's going to change the plans, I think, here for Travis Carter.
In fact, it looks like they'll call a timeout.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. We talked a little bit about this. This is really kind of the teacher versus the student, if you will.
It is.
Ken Mashinsky, who was the head coach of Travis Carter when he played as the quarterback at King High School. And, they kind of have been good friends when the job was taken by Travis Carter to assist John Brandon back in 2016. He took over the head coaching duties in 2019 and has done an excellent job. So the other factor here, too, this is going to be maybe the last time they will play each other. It is the last time they will play each other in league play, as there's a realignment situation here for the Trojans. They'll get tossed over to the Raincross Conference in 24, where they're likely going to have Arlington and Pauley within the same league. So a change and a realignment means that this matchup of Hillcrest and Ramona is likely something we'll not see again in a league situation.
Yeah, really an interesting situation. And you wonder how much Riverside schools they'll schedule now that they're out of the league. Speaking of King, the Wolves are up 34-7 right now in the fourth quarter on our other game of our two-headed doubleheader on Riverside TV.
Ramos on the direct snap. I think he'll get it.
Just enough.
Wow.
Some effort by Ramos. He needed 4, and he got 4 in about a quarter.
My goodness. Look at how he just kind of reads momentarily. He waits for things to formulate, finds the hole, and blasts his way forward.
I take your tush push and do you one better. How about that from the shotgun? That's something Cam Newton used to do back in the day.
That is something.
Design quarterback run.
Clock continues to roll here, so time is now going to be a factor for the Rams.
In
Ramos
fact,
will remain as your quarterback.
So Ramona has all 3 of their timeouts, Hillcrest with 2. If the Trojans pick up 2 first downs, the game is over.
Vences on the carry, possibly 2. Gets tripped up on the play by Gabriel Serrato.
Well, these were the problems with your Ramona of leaving those points on the board in the first half. With the missed field goal that was made before a timeout and the fumble inside of the red zone, along with the interception, 2 near the red zone. So 3 huge mistakes in the first half. Rams have been the better team in the second half, but when you make mistakes early in the game, time can get away from you, and that's what's happening for Ramona right now.
Ball spotted at the 43 of the Trojans. Clock now inside of 2:20 to play.
Yep, just 2 first downs. That's all you need.
Ramos on the keeper. Jukes one player. Will pick up maybe 4 yards on the carry.
And he was stopped inbounds. A very smart decision from Matthew Ramos to sit inbounds and avoid a stop clock.
Makes it a 3rd and a long 5 scenario as the clock continues to roll. Actually, it is a stop, as it looks like we'll take a timeout down in the field.
Yeah, so a first down doesn't end the game, but a first down makes it very tough. Really, if they convert this on 3rd down, then the Rams, if they run the clock right, would only get about 20 or 30 seconds. So, and this is a huge situation, and for Hillcrest, you know that they're not afraid to go for it on 4th down.
Absolutely not. As we mentioned, Nick, this is not a 1-5 football team. This is a team much greater than what their win-loss record reflects. Looking down the road, they really have to win out as they'll take on Patriot next Friday night, followed by La Sierra on the 20th. Then it's Arlington on the 27th. If they have any desire to get into CIF, it has to be just a complete running of the table there to make themselves positioned for that.
Well, this is the best 1-win football team in the area. Hillcrest began the season with a gut-wrenching 14-6 loss at Pauley, and if that wasn't bad enough, they lost on a missed PAT in overtime against Redlands 21-20. Then they lose the following week 36-35. They have 2 one-point losses in a row. They come in 1-5. But are right here on the doorstep of a win.
Ramos once again will take the snap, and they make the mistake. Oh my goodness.
Aiden Parks caught the game's, he caught the game's opening touchdown. He was a huge proponent of the early jump for them.
Wow, so Parks makes the mistake for the Trojans. That'll push them back on a 3rd and long situation. So now that'll mix things up on the game plan here for Travis Carter.
If I were Hillcrest, unless you gain at like 6 or 7 here, I would feel much more comfortable with Ramona down to 2 timeouts. It'd be 1, just punting the football. I mean, if you can't convert in 2 plays, no shame in punting it and giving the Rams a long field.
So on a 3rd and 9 situation here for the Trojans, ball is spotted at their own 43. Ramos on the rollout, looking under serious pressure, gets wrapped up for the loss. Credit Troy Long on making the sack. Ken Mashinsky makes the timeout now. Key defensive move here by the Rams.
And, you know, it's not a horrible decision to sit on that for a sack. You throw the ball away and give the Rams an extra 40 seconds. I mean, but clearly, if you're going for it, I mean, Travis Carter's aggressive, but you got to punt here and give the Rams a long field. Great job by Ramona. Now Hillcrest burned about 5.5 minutes on that drive and forced the Rams to use 2 timeouts. So they did a solid job. But, partner, it comes down to this. Rams, if they can recover here, they get 1 shot to win the game.
This will be an interesting situation now. 1:52 on the clock. There you see Travis Carter talking things over with his troops. Carter, as we mentioned, one of the young guns as far as the coaches around the Inland Empire, has done a fantastic job here for Hillcrest. Matthew Ramos is also your punter here for the Trojans. And back to receive will be Troy Long, who made that key defensive sack. He's going to stand at his own 30. Clock stopped at 1:52. 4th and a 14 scenario here for the Trojans. High snap, oh man, that could have been a nightmare. Long takes the ball at his 35, gets pounded, wrapped up, tossed to the turf. Right at the 40. Credit the stop on the play to Aiden Parks.
All comes down to this.
Wow.
And, you know, considering the differential, a touchdown wins the game. Anything less loses it. And the playoffs are on the line, folks. Ramona or Hillcrest, especially Hillcrest. You lose tonight, you're definitely out of the league championship race, but you might also end up being a game short of the playoffs. This is the biggest drive of the year for both schools yet.
You got to look for Sincere Tolbert on this one with the clock stopped at 1:44. The ball is spotted right at the 40 of Ramona. Tolbert, your lone running back with Acosta. Oh, the ball's in the turf. Bad snap. Acosta trying to make things happen. It will be a huge loss for Ramona.
If he had a guy downfield, I think he would have been better off throwing that one away. I don't understand Acosta on the bad snap deciding to lose 8.
Wow. That did not come at an opportune time. Actually, it looks like it's going to be a loss closer to 11. Wowzers.
Yeah, split the difference. They gave us 9. How about that?
Man, stops the clock, though, at 1:38. So this puts a yardage deficit for the Rams to work with on a 2nd and long. We're going to call it, in the turf again, under pressure. Acosta looking long with a wobbly to Long. Almost makes the catch, Matthew Ramos there on the defense.
This is the unenviable situation as an official. It was close. Hillcrest got there a half a second early. You very easily could have called pass interference on that play. Acosta, what an arm that quarterback has, but it is unfortunate that if he led him about a yard further, we're not talking PI, we're talking a house call.
Bit of a lame duck. You'll see the ball wobble in the air as he gave it all that he could. Long was there, but closely
guarded. It was
a
little early. Check this out.
Yeah, closely guarded by Ramos. Wow, that could have been called potentially. Yeah. That could have been called. But credit Ramos on the effort. 3rd and long situation for the Rams. Acosta back, tosses it out. Nope, that'll be incomplete. Long did not have possession, in my opinion, but are they going to give it to him? They're still trying to make a decision along the sidelines, and I think they're going to credit him with the catch.
There's no way they should give him the catch.
He was bobbling the football.
Yeah, that wasn't even close. This is a game you pull your hair out if you're a coach.
Wow.
I mean, Ramona is just begging for Hillcrest to win this game in moments where they drop a football, they blow another snap. The snapping was actually a huge problem before the game in warm-ups, and it really is haunting them on this drive. Acosta's doing a good job avoiding losing the snap, but the snapping's been a problem all night.
Ball's at the 42 of Ramona. 4th down and 9. Back to pass as Acosta has plenty of time looking downfield for somebody. Has a man open. Shiner gets the football in for the score. Wowzers. By the 58-yard touchdown pass to Shiner. And now the Rams go ahead in this contest for the first time tonight. A very crucial point after attempt now by Jose Martinez, as it's only a 1-point lead with 1:12 remaining in the fourth. Snap is down, kick is up, on the way, looks good, and it is. Let's take a second look at this, Nick.
Jeremiah Acosta, the quarterback, was waiting until the final moments before the season before he was named starter. He's been a leader of this football team this year.
Look at that.
And in the most important play of the season, JR, he throws his best pass of his life.
Oh,
Cody
man.
Shiner had also, to add on to it, had been a complete no-show early in the game. And my goodness, the guts of both quarterback and receiver on 4th down and 9 with the season on the line. This is why I love this team and this coaching staff. Late in the game, they don't sweat it. What a comeback by the Rams.
Shiner was bobbling the football right at the 5-yard line, was able to get possession of it and take it into the end zone for the score. Now it's a 2-point advantage with 1:12 remaining in this contest. And the Trojans are going to have to come up with something to at least get a field goal and get into field goal position to win this football game.
This is a moment for Acosta and Shiner, if they hang on, that they'll remember for the rest of their life. What a moment for these two superstar kids and superstar football players.
Kick away goes Sir Ramos out of his own end zone. Gets taken down right at the 15, so it's going to be a long field here for the Trojans with only 1:05 remaining in the game.
Well, Ramona, since that onside kick, has outgained Hillcrest 171 to 53.
Amazing.
They have been by far and away the better football team in the second half. I was just worried if they had enough time. Clearly they did to take the lead. Now this defense, which is pitching a second half shutout, do they have an opportunity? Boy, do they ever. 2 timeouts for Hillcrest, that'll help them, but they have a great opportunity to hang on to the lead.
Christian Alvarado has to work some magic now, as he'll likely have to pass this football. Back to pass. Looking, has a man open downfield. Nice catch is made by McDowell for the first down. Moves the chain, stops the clock at 59 seconds. Ball is spotted at the 41 of Hillcrest. Alvarado, quick tempo, again back to pass, looking to the sidelines. Catch is made. Going to be shy of the first down, and will keep the clock moving. Making the reception is Nicholas Shaw, and it looks like Travis Carter will take a timeout.
Some football game, JR.
Wow, man. This is River Valley League play. This is what you expect out of really most any teams in this league. This is why we enjoy covering this here on Riverside TV.
For those of you just joining us, you missed a great football game, but we've got an incredible finish tonight. Hillcrest, courtesy of 2 big Ramona turnovers, jump out to a 14-0 lead. Their running back, Alfredo Vences, big in the game, runs for over 100 yards. Then something happens after that huge start. Hillcrest, a team very aggressive. They've missed 3 fourth downs tonight, and they have all been huge to give the Rams a short field. They finally break through. Their running back, Sincere Tolbert, also over 100 yards, 15-yard touchdown run late in the third. After a long drive ending in a field goal, Ramona has 4th and 9, down 5, game on the line, and Acosta throws the 58-yarder to Shiner. Here's where we are, Rams up 2 late.
2nd and 5 is your situation. Ball spotted at the 41. Clock is stopped at 43 seconds remaining in the game. Christian Alvarado giving instructions to Vences. Alvarado looking down the center portion of the field. Catch is made inside of the 40. That'll move the change. Beautiful reception made by Nicholas Shaw. Clock stopped at 35 seconds.
And Shaw's been huge on this drive. 2 big catches, and that one was very impressive.
Clock is rolling. Give is to Vences. Takes it to the center portion of the field. They're going to have to take a timeout. Wow. Clock is stopped. 22 seconds remaining. Looks like the ball's going to get spotted inside of the 35.
Hillcrest has a lot of capable receivers, but I've been thoroughly impressed by number 11, Nicholas Shaw. A couple of huge catches on this drive. That 23-yard snag was in coverage over his head. Some catch to keep the drive going.
Shaw, a good-sized receiver at 6'3", 170 pounds. Another one of those youngsters being only a sophomore. Let's take a second look at this one, Nick.
Yeah, Nicholas Shaw runs a simple post pattern against the double team, and look at this catch.
Nice reach to make the catch.
You didn't see it. It was just past the edge of the screen, but trust us, that guy skies into the air for that one, and you saw the Rams in the coverage too. You know, as a receiver, it's that tough position late in the game where you know you're going to run inside and take a hit potentially, and Nicholas Shaw, really a grown-up player right there. He makes a tough catch.
Here's a situation where you got to get your receivers to the sideline somehow or send them to the end zone to make sure the clock stops if there's an incomplete pass. 2nd down and 6. Clock is at 22 seconds remaining. Alvarado back to pass. Looking down long, overthrows his intended receiver. Looks like McDowell just out of his reach, makes it now a 3rd down situation with 15 seconds remaining.
I don't know if he scores on that play, but man, throw that one in stride and he's got a chance. Terrific route run to get past 2 defenders. And for Ramona, I don't understand why they're running a simple defense. I'd have everybody back. Give him something cheap, but nothing deep.
Christian Alvarado with the ball spotted just inside the 35-yard line of Ramona. 15 seconds remain. 3rd down. Going to roll out. Looking to the sidelines. Catch is made. That'll be a 1st down with 10 seconds remaining.
That was some play. A 17-yard hook up there to keep the game alive.
Wow.
Are you guys ready for a photo finish? That's what we got right now.
10 seconds on the clock. Ball is spotted at the 15. Looks like they're going to already line up for the field goal attempt.
Alvarado had been struggling throughout the night, but he steps up in a big way on this drive.
So, Diego Alba Diaz. And now the Rams will take a timeout to essentially ice the kicker.
If Ramona made that PAT in the 3rd quarter, we're looking at a chance to tie, not to win for Hillcrest.
Wow. Is this not what we live for here on Friday nights here on Riverside TV? Glad to have you along with us. J.R. Ibarra, Nick Rice bringing you all the action on the Riverside TV Game of the Week as it's coming down to 10 seconds remaining in this great matchup here in the River Valley League between the Rams of Ramona and the Trojans of Hillcrest.
So Christian Alvarado finishes the day 7 out of 15, 83 yards and a touchdown, and helps drive the team into position to win the game right here.
32-yard attempt for Diego Alba Diaz. Snap is good. Kick is up on the way. It's good.
Oh, he got it?
It is good. 4 seconds remaining.
That was no good. He missed that kick, and I think the Rams are pleading their case. I don't know if they're going to get it, though, but let's check out that.
It's kind of a line drive. They're signaling that it was good.
The Rams were saying it's no good. I mean, I was looking right here in the booth. That kick was wide left, in my opinion.
It was very low. The officials are going to have a word with Ken Mashinsky here. Let's take no, I thought we were going to take another look at this.
There's no way. Hopefully we can get another look at that. This is too important to have the game end like this. There's the look at the refs. It was a line drive, but it was just long enough to get over our camera.
Wow.
But that was, I think that was wide left.
Man.
If I were Coach Mashinsky, I'd give an earful too. Do we have a wide shot? Hopefully we can get the wide shot again at some point before this one's over.
So clock is stopped at 4.7 seconds remaining.
Now, granted, we're not spring chickens, so maybe my eyesight isn't as good as I thought.
We're kind of at a difficult angle. It's very difficult to see if it is a good field goal. Obviously, the refs are right there. And Shiner. Actually, it's long. Nope, it's Lerna. They're going to do the toss back.
The pitchy woo-woo.
They're still alive. The clock has stopped. And that is it. That's the game. The Trojans of Hillcrest are able to survive this one and come up and win this one by 1 point. Unbelievable.
I hope we can get a look at that one more time. I know our great, hardworking Riverside TV camera crew, an incredible job throughout the game. If we can get one last look, I think all of our fans would love to see it. A wide shot. I know it's tough. If we can get it, that'd be great. Hillcrest, it looks like, wins the game, but man, I thought that kick was no good. And a lot of the Ramona people felt the same way. And you could see it, the folks here down on the field. I mean, they're just devastated. To put your heart out in a game like this, Hillcrest, credit to them for that great drive. But, man, this was some football game.
I tell you what, give credit to both of these squads. They come up with a huge win here, as it is the Hillcrest Trojans eking this one out by a score of 17-16 to keep their hopes alive of trying to get into CIF. I think winning a title in River Valley is out the window, but nonetheless, they breathe some life into their campaign for this season.
Yeah, so it looks like the standings will be as follows. Notre Vista winning against La Sierra 2-0 in the River Valley League. Patriot 2-0. So you got Notre Vista and Patriot at 2-0. Hillcrest joins Arlington at 1-1. Ramona falls to 0-2, as does La Sierra.
I tell you what, give credit there to the Trojans. They came up with a very unique game plan by utilizing Matthew Ramos extensively throughout this ball game, especially early on, to kind of set that tempo.
Yeah.
And that kind of made the difference, in my opinion, Nick.
So, yeah, the running game worked for them. That's been their bread and butter all night. The Trojans took advantage of a couple brutal turnovers by the Rams. And then credit to Christian Alvarado, the quarterback who had been much maligned tonight. He began the game 2 for 8. But with the season potentially on the line, Hillcrest had to have the quarterback step up, down 2 late in the game, and he did. Incredible drive by the quarterback. And what a devastating loss for a team in the Rams that were celebrating with a minute left on that Shiner 4th down touchdown. I mean, the twists and turns in this game. There's been a lot of great games this year. This one right up there among the best.
Absolutely. Well, it drops Ramona now to 3-4 overall. Next weekend they will face off against La Sierra. Then it's Arlington on the 19th, and they'll wrap up the season against Norte Vista, which is likely for the league title, if you will. But there'll be some situation here between those two teams to battle out for a league title.
Yeah, you know, Norte Vista right now joins a Patriot. Patriot's the team, it appears. Of course, other games have not gone final yet, but it appears Norte Vista and Patriot will meet later this year for the league title. But credit to Hillcrest. Mathematically, a loss tonight, unless everything goes their way, they were out of the playoff picture. So the entire season hung in the balance. And, you know, it's a fun little wrinkle to close this game. The pupil beats the teacher in his building to win the game.
And essentially for the final time in River Valley League play, because obviously, as we mentioned, the realignment that's taking place, this will be the last league match between these two coaches. So give credit to Travis Carter from Hillcrest for coming up with that 1-point victory over his teacher and Ken Mashinsky. Hey, stay tuned. For those of you watching us live, the Pep Rally will come online right at about 11 p.m. tonight. Pep Fernandez and his cast of characters will give you all the surrounding region area highlights and scores and stats right here on Riverside TV. So for Nick Rice and all the award-winning Riverside TV crew, I'm J.R. Ibarra. Thank you so much for joining us here on a beautiful night in Riverside, California, where the Hillcrest Trojans come up with a 17-16 victory over the Ramona Rams. God bless you, folks. We'll see you next week.